one of the emotions that you get to experience when going through career grief is heavy sadness. Do you know the two ways that you can identify whether you're grieving? Did we catch it? We did. Who can say the first one? Just shout and hear you. What was the first one? At the bar? I can't hear you. No. Yes. No. Anyone else? Wait. I think you're answering a different question. So what I've asked is, well, if whatever I think you're answering is what I think it is, then you're on the right track. But the question that I'm asking is, there are two ways that I've given of how you can identify whether you're grieving your career. Yes.
One of the ways I think is you say claiming the career you wish you had.
Yes, grieving the career that you wish you had, or the one that you've never achieved. The other one? Someone? Just
your purpose. Your purpose.
not one. Okay, that is still in the same line. Another one, they're very, very similar. That was an example. Okay. Anyone else?
Losing connection.
Well, that's an example of how you can identify. Okay, can I say it again?
Yes.
Okay. This is how you know if you're grieving your career. First one is losing the career you have or the one that you had. Okay. The second one is grieving the career you wished you had. Are you together?
Yes.
To our emotions. Are you together? Okay. Why do we feel sad? Why do you think we feel when we lose that? If you're for people who I think could be relating with what I'm talking about, why do you think you feel sad? You can just shout, it's okay. In a way, yes. Anyone else would want to try? Yes. Sense of loss. Anything in particular that you're losing? That's why it's identity. Okay, exactly. Identity. Why do you think you're losing your identity?
I think it affect your identity to that career or that.
Let's clap for her. One of the ways that you feel sad is you pegged your identity on the role or the career that you have. You do not know who you are outside work. Do we relate? The worker. It's because you have put so much work into you put so much life into that work. Well, I know you need to live like that, but then it's too much. You do not have boundaries about it. Someone said lost connection. Loss of connection? Okay, tell us. Would you want to explain what that is?
It's your example that you use. If these are executives and then Susan and interns.
The strays are flying.
So every time someone moves back or moves up, they lose a connection with whoever they were.
Yes, you're losing community. It's the people you get, just exactly how you explained it. So you feel sad because your identity is pegged on the work that you're doing, and you do not know how to. One of the things that I've asked is introduce yourself without your job title. Is there someone else who would like to give it a try? Both.
Book.
Who is a book? A book.
Bob reasons.
Six
Okay.
four. Hey.
Let's date. Okay. So please introduce yourself without telling us what you do. Don't say, my name is Abok and I'm an accountant. Who is Abok? What is
You said the question. Okay. Good evening. My name is. You want to see the height? Hey. The stage is already occupied. You can see me. With your permission. Good evening. My name is Paula Bok. I enjoy writing poetry. I enjoy music at times. I can play the piano. Whenever I'm not writing poetry or playing the piano, I figure out ways in which I can express myself through work. And so I do articles sometimes to promote or explain challenges children endure in foundational learning.
That's it.
Yeah.
No. I'm not saying that's it, great. I'm saying that's how you introduce yourself. So don't start with the bicycle and football thing. You start with this. I'm sorry. You start with this one where you are doing something children foundational learning. So start there. You want to repeat another shot? Okay.
My name is Abok. I write articles to explain challenges children go through in foundational learning. Other than foundational learning, I also ways to interpret data in simple visuals so that people can understand what these gaps are and how they can plug in as a community, and also how policymakers can support these children to live their dreams.
Clap for him. Okay. Are we getting the difference between what he is, how he's introducing himself as opposed to what do you do?
I'm a communications officer.
Okay. I wouldn't have told. I wouldn't tell. So that is how you introduce yourself without telling us your title. That is how you can differentiate or at least have boundaries of defining your life without the title. So if you're not a communications officer, you can still do that in another organization with another title. Is that clear? Make sense?
Yeah.
So we said we feel sad because your identity is pegged on your title. There's a loss of connection in terms of community, and work generally gives you a sense of belonging. So right now, when you do that, there's a value that you're communicating to the world. People can see you. You get to connect. So when that is taken away from you, you start questioning your sense of identity and purpose. You do not know who you are. How do you get to communicate that? Because the first one is you pegged your identity on the role itself. So just to move to the next slide is one of the ways that I experience. So in this career grief, you get to experience the grief, the normal grief, but then now it's pegged on work. So you get to go through denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then finally acceptance. But all this is not the same for everyone. You do not get to have them in stages like everyone else. All of us experience it differently. For me, it kept bouncing, and over time, before I got to know that what I had been experiencing was career grief, it's been close to 10 years. By the time I'm putting a name to it and saying this is actually what I'm going through, it's 10 years. And I think over time, or way back, excuse me, way back is people do not allow you to actually say such things because to other people you're privileged. Why are you complaining? But you have a right to feel exactly how you feel, and it's okay. over time, I found people who understand and support that, and it's made it really palatable. So for me, it was one of the things that I had to get through was the constant voice of my mother telling me that she does not understand what I do outside the room. So if you ask her, even right now, if you get to ask her what I do in the room, she'll say something like, "Anafanya kibarua tu." I hope your parents don't get to do that to you. If you are, please. Well, my dad at least is very keen to understand where I am, what role I'm doing, and I've bounced back a bit just to understand what I like in HR. Because law for me was very defined like this. It's either you're in court or you're in a legal department in the corporate. But then over time, for HR, it's bouncing off from generalist over HR, specialist over HR, talent acquisition, get to do payroll, get to do employee relations, get to do other things like being a strategic business partner, so that I get a taste of what I would like. And if you look at my resume, it has a lot of things. And one of the side notes, one of the things that HR say is, you move a lot. Do you have HRs in the house first? Okay, but I wanted someone else to corroborate the same. One of the things that we look in the CV is the movement. You stay somewhere for 6 months, you go someone else for 8 months, move, move, move. So you find that some other people would really have a conversation to say, we may not take you in because we fear that you're going to move around. But then I see that for me as you bringing value, you get to collect it. It's not a must that you come and stay here. You do not owe me as an organization loyalty. You owe it to yourself. If you get another, and I'll tell this to candidates, I can see people I have recruited in the room. If you get to work with me and you work for 4 months and you find something else which is better, I tell you to take it. Be loyal to yourself. Put yourself first. It's okay. I'd even recommend you if it's possible. I hope my employer because I've done despicable things for good reasons. So, how do you prepare for transitions? One of the things that you find is really difficult for you, the reason why it's difficult for you to move on is you have not prepared mentally for the exit. So you find that it's very abrupt. So one of the things that I would advise you to do as you're preparing, just in case it happens, is when you get into an organization, be intentional about your exit. Have a plan. I'm going to be here for 2 years, and this is what I want to achieve in those 2 years. It's okay. It needs your participation. It needs your participation for you to know how you're going to achieve it. If it's difficult, you can engage a career coach for you to do that. Have a succession plan. By the time you're doing this, so you can say, when I'm here, these are the things that are going to define my success. But then for the next phase of life, this is what will. So for this side, it could be, forgive me, this could be really, for example, you're using Uber. But then when you come to the next phase of life, you must have a car. That's just an example. So you need to have a plan of how you're going to get a car. It could be something else like a title, or for the next job that you're going to have, you're going to trade in hours. So as opposed to working Monday to Friday, you get to work Monday to Thursday so that you have 3 resting days. But in Kenya, we don't trade the rest. The other thing that I want you to do is take inventory of what work means to you, so that you have the balance, you have the boundary. Your identity is not entirely pegged on your work. So you have a plan of how you're going to transition, but then in other instances, you don't really get to do that. You get there, but then you're in a rut and you do not know how to get out of it. Stick to a routine. One of the things that career group gets to do is, especially if it was not voluntary, you got terminated, you got sent home, it was redundancy, is it's going to cost you a lot of heaviness. You don't understand. You didn't do anything wrong. In fact, you would be giving your time and your weekends to that job. If you can, please, someone said they want to know how to find balance. So Jane said, Happy burnout. Okay, it's okay. Um, you need to have boundaries about your work. Very strict, unless you're working in an agency. But then you can still get away. I've worked in an agency before. You need to find that balance. So you can say, as opposed to chatting during your lunchtime, you can work during that time so that by the time it's clocking 6 p.m. for you to go home, you don't get to cut work home. And that's one of the things I do. I don't want to work from Friday evening until Sunday at 3 p.m. That's when my week starts so that I can plan. You can do the same. You manage your workload and make it very, I think for employers it's gotten to a point where we are really open to having discussions of how we can work. So other people say, I do not want to work on over the weekend. So whatever we need to do, let's do it right now. And you get to respect that. Stick to a routine. Dream is here to disrupt your normalcy. So you find that you're binge watching until very late, then you have to wake up maybe at 11 a.m. One of the people that I'm working with right now is a nurse who got sent home a while back. And what she says she misses the most is she misses waking up at 5 a.m. to go to work. Do we relate?
We don't.
I understand what you mean. You have these emotions that you're going through, which is anger, denial, you're bargaining, maybe I should have said something, maybe I should have gone back, etc. Name them. Name those emotions that you're going through. Makes it easier for you to get through it. Resist the urge to distract yourself because one of the things that we do is we do not know how to attend to those emotions. It's very uncomfortable. You don't know what to do when you're feeling sad or angry. You want to go online so that you can rant. Do not do that. Finally, that's it. Rita doing something about that. How do we move on? How do you get to move on from all this? You're trying, you've planned about it, you got into a rut, you don't know how to get out. Okay, you know how to get out. How do you now move on to say it's okay? And your Peter Simwell, or the whatever works for you. Reframe the story that you tell yourself. Some of the times that the things that we say to the voices in our heads are so unkind. For myself, I used to say, I'm such a failure. What am I even doing if I'm not a lawyer? So you have people asking me, why are you not involved? Why did you not go back? And I get so much shame. Just thinking about it, I'd want to hide. But then over time, I got to own the story that I'm telling and say, I didn't enjoy it, I'm not going back. So that you can close it very quickly. Reframe the story, tell yourself, what are the core values? What are the things that you enjoy? One of the things that you get, and this is just really personal opinion, is when you become, what I thought I would do when I became a lawyer was really engage in very uncomfortable conversations that involved maybe payouts to people for us to get up, which wasn't sitting well with me. But then over time, I'm saying this is the integrity that I want to sit with. So as a HR, one of the things, so all this it cuts across in all I want to say industries, but then it comes down to your own values. So even in being a HR, one of the things that you get to do is candidates come and say, I can see that you're hiring for a certain position. How about I give you, how much is the position giving? Case in point, 100K, just for example. How about I give you 200,000? We give you the job, and then we close on this. I know times are hard, but it comes down to the things that you believe in. Are you willing to sell your soul for a bowl of soup? That's just my example. Your values could be very different than mine. The second thing, so the first one is to reframe the story you tell yourself. The second thing is reframe your mind to view failure as a learning experience. One of the things that I've said is if you are looking at success in a certain sphere, case in point, if success for you means having money, the day you don't have money, you're not successful, right? It translates it like that. If you view it as having a title of a manager, the day you're not a manager, or you get to go to another organization and be an officer, you're not successful. And it makes it very frustrating for you that you're only concentrating on what you want to do next and you forget how to be efficient, excellent in where you are right now. That is the second way to do this. The third one and the last one, redefine your concepts of success. What does success look like for you? It's very different for all of us. For some people, it will be owning a home in Greece. For others, it could be being consistent in the gym 5 days a week. It could be eating healthy meals. It could be going for a hike once a month. To define what success looks like for you, it makes it very difficult. What does achievements look like for you? And it keeps you in the spheres of display, so that you don't get to compare yourself to other people. It grows over time, because for today, if you get to be displayed in terms of say working out, over time you can get a hang of how to do 5 days in a week comfortably. It doesn't have to be every day. But then for the next phase could be maybe going for a marathon and completing one. It's very different, but progressive over time. And what I'd advise is network. In the positions that you get to hold, have conversations with people, attend those industry events. There are things that you get to learn about that are not posted outside. You hear all the people say, I'm recruiting for something. Case in point, I have a client I'm currently recruiting for 2 positions. They've not posted it anywhere. So if for some reason I've had a conversation with you and I understand what you do, like I've said in my bio, I'm very specific on what I do. So if I get to hear how you're introducing yourself or how you're talking about yourself, I can easily tell where I would place you if I had a vacancy. So you find that these are the things that we get to do in the network that doesn't get to go outside. Network as well as you can learn how to pitch for yourself. The way that you introduce yourself, that is how you get to introduce yourself without pegging a title. So for me to be easy to say, okay, I don't have to give you the position of being a communications officer. I can throw you anywhere else, but you're still going to do what you do. You can analyze data from anywhere else without having a title. Thank you very much. I hope you've learned something. Are there any questions?
I can tell.
Yes, please.
There's something you had mentioned before. Sijui some six.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. One of the ways that you can actually tell whether you enjoy what you do is reading a book called The 6 Working Geniuses. Yes, right? It's by Patrick Lencioni. So it gives you areas of competence. It has three areas. You have a working genius, you have a working, I don't know, you're taking notes. Let me just read through, and then if I leave you somewhere, you can just raise your voice. So it has 6 competences. Where it says you can be really good at wonder. So the abbreviation is widget, WIDGET. The first one is wonder, the second is invention, the third is discernment, then galvanizing, enablement, and tenacity. So in any work that you do, you can group the work or the roles that you do into these 6 areas. All of us have all this. So you must have 2 working geniuses. These are the areas out of the 6 that you've written down, the widgets. 2 of those are the things that you're really good at. They can be really easy for you. It could be the first one of wondering. Wonder is people who ask questions like, is there a better way we can do this? You're always seeking potential. The guys who do invention are the people who say, I have an idea of how we can go about this better. So it's easy for you to say, these are the things that I'm really good at. Or other people working with you, they can actually tell you. So they give you joy. Those are working geniuses, and there must be 2 of the widgets. The next 2 are working competencies. These are things that neither make you miserable, or they never give you complete joy. The third one is working frustration. So we have working genius, working competencies, and working frustration. So you have to put two of each. These are the things that drain the life out of you. And you must know. It could be the wondering where you say, I have an idea, or someone asking, is that better to do this? And over time, I realized that I'm really good at enablement and galvanizing. It's when someone else has thought about the idea of what we're going to do, and we have someone else who's going to do it until completion. But then for me, it is rallying the people to say, let's go, guys. You're good at this. There's something that I do at work. I say, you got this. You got this. It doesn't matter what you're going through. You must get this. And one of the other things that you do is find your support. So if you're stuck somewhere, I'm really good at identifying what or who can actually help you so that you can be successful. We have people who are really good at seeing things to completion. That could be your working genius. You're really good at it. You let other people figure out what you're doing, someone else to rally for support, and then for you seeing it to the end. It's called the Six Working Geniuses by Patrick Lencioni. It has an assessment of how you can actually find out what you're good at. I hope I've answered your question. Any other question? Yes.
What are some of the signs that you peg your identity on your career or profession? And is it possible to unpeg yourself from that situation?
Yes. First question. What are the signs that you peg your identity? First question. If you lose your job right now, are you going to lose your mind? Are you going leave that alone? Are you going to feel so sad and so mad you wouldn't even know where to start? Are you going to start panicking? Would you start panicking if you lost your job today?
Probably because of the financial part of it.
Leave alone that one.
The economy.
Leave alone that one. You start panicking because you don't know how to what to do with yourself when the day starts and you don't have to go to work as an accountant. I'm using accounting as an example. There's nothing wrong with it. That's one of the things that the other thing is when people do not mention your title, you get so pissed. You catch feelings. Because the title has gotten to your head. Your neck actually hurts from the title. So those are the two ways. Low hanging fruits of how you can actually find out whether you picked your identity on your title or the career that you have. That's any question. Any other question? Okay.
So I have a question, but I'm not really sure how to phrase it. So let's say what I
It's
can.
okay.
I don't know if you've ever gotten this feeling where you're not really sure whether to move forward or go back. So you're stuck in the middle, but being stuck makes you even more frustrated. You feel like you're wasting time and you're putting in, you're wasting your energy and your effort. And you're not sure about going forward, but you're scared of going back.
You definitely do not want to go back. Okay, let's talk hypotheticals. What's just give me hypothetical so that you know what I'm talking about. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more about it.
So I used to love my job when I first got it, and that was because it's something I didn't study in campus.
Okay.
Somebody gave me an opportunity, and I took advantage of it, and I got the job.
Okay.
And it's been about 2 years into it, and I question myself if I really enjoy it. It pays my bills, and I like that, but I feel like I'm getting drained every day. I love the bit where I get to solve problems because we're working with entrepreneurs, businesses, so I love that part. But I don't like the part where there's so much that needs to be done, and I feel like my table is always full. I feel like things are messed up. I know things are messed up, but every time I'm getting reviewed, they tell me that I'm doing a good job. I'm the highest performing guy, but I don't feel it. I feel like there's more that I haven't done. So every day I draw a list of things that I want to do. I don't finish the list by the end of the day. And anytime I'm leaving the office, I can't work home because I don't want to show up to work the following day and say, and when I'm asked for a report, I say that I haven't finished this. So I always want to tick all those boxes to the point that I go to work on Saturdays when I'm not supposed to.
Okay.
I found myself in the office on Sundays. I can't help
Any other guys?
Therapist in the house.
it gets worse because I think yes. It gets worse because when I learned this skill, I found it something very valuable. Like most people don't really get to understand how. I feel like it's magic, and I've gone to the point where I have open businesses because I want to put that skill into practice for my own. So I want to have my own thing. I don't want to be an employee beyond like 3 years from now. But now the issue is the effort I need to put for me to achieve that dream is so huge that it's draining me now. And if I give up and decide that I'm only going to do what I can, wake up at 7, leave the office at 4, I'm scared that I won't achieve that dream by the time I want to.
Okay.
But when I now push myself to my limits to achieve that dream within the time frame that I want to, it's spilling over to other things because now when I was in campus I felt like I had a vibrant life. But now my phone only rings when my parents call me.
You not have a social life. Okay.
I feel sometimes. Let me just put it out
Okay.
there.
Okay. First of all, have you finished or there's something else you want to share?
I don't think
Okay. First of all, I think the thing that we do the most, we are seeking someone else to approve the things that we know in our hearts. We need to move. This is what I think is happening. You've outgrown the job that you have. And one of the things that I think you're going through is your interests have changed over time. So the things that used to bring you joy, at that time, when you're joining the organization, you used to know maybe from here, the 50%. So you needed to learn this other 50. Over time, you've learned this. But then there's a bit of work that spills into what you said is you have a lot of files in your desk. Can I assume that this is paperwork?
not really. It's an agency, so we get to deal with. Technically it's the proper. I don't do paper.
Okay. Okay. I think over time you have hit the ceiling of where you are. You may need to take an inventory of the skills that you're really good at and the skills that you are not so good at, which could be, I don't know what that is. Okay. The other thing is you may need out of the inventory that you're going to take, the things that you're really good at, look for work that matches what you like. One of the other thing is you're spending so much time at your client work. Is that how you want to live? Exactly. So reframing your success. What does your everyday life look like? It could be saying, I'm working Monday to Friday. And then over the weekend, I get to have that time to myself. Work-life balance. Someone said the work-life balance, yeah. But then for that, it means that you may need to find your work or job in another place that it requires your skill set, but it may not be necessarily be in an agency. So you need to move. You understand? For the next change of career that you're going, make sure you define what success looks like. What are the things that you're willing to work with? What what are the things that you're not willing to compromise? Each personal side, social life. It could be, so you may look, I can assure you this. Right now, I don't think it happening. Right now, we are in the September surge period. There's a lot of opportunities right now in the organizations that have opened up because there's something they call summer break. So people go for holiday between July and right now. So that as the year, so this is when the year is starting when it comes to hiring. There's a lot of people who are changing jobs. So this is the time for you to find the thing that could tickle your fancy, the thing that you love. It's right now. And whatever you have in mind, there's an employer looking for exactly what you have. You don't have to die where you are. So figure out what is it that you want to do. Identify organizations that you want to work with. Make a list. Look at their website. Constantly check them. Be on LinkedIn. We post all the time there. Now, when you go to the interview sessions, I don't know if you want, let me just say, when you go to the interview session, have in mind that case in point, just an example, you're earning 100K. When you go to the other side, they're offering 150K, but then maybe you get work over the weekend, or they're offering 70,000, but the workload is maybe the same as what you're earning, we are doing right now, but then it goes until Friday. You can always bargain and say, for the amount of money that you're giving me, this is what I'm willing to offer. I can only work until Thursday, or I can only work until Friday, and that's it. For the 70,000 and the kind of work that we have, is there anything else that I can get? Maybe medical, but then is it covering me and save my family? Someone else in your home? Can you pay for my education? Something else. You can always trade it off. But first thing first, you need to make sure, make a list of what you want to do. What are the things that you're good at? You cannot be good at everything. Do you understand? And it's also, it gets to a point where even as employers, you see that you're really good at what you do. That isn't how we get to do things. It shouldn't be like that. Because you find that someone is really good at, say, business development space in things. So we say she's doing really well in BD. How about we make her to be the GM? What we are doing is we're just setting her up for failure. She's just good in BD. She doesn't know anything about being a general manager. So don't bring her to this side. She's going to get really frustrated and leave. That is what you're feeling. You're really frustrated. So you need to find an exit plan. Do you understand? If it gets difficult, you can work with a career coach who can help you through how to do that. It's very easy. But take advantage of the September hiring search. You'll get something. Yeah. Any other question? Yes.
Another 2 minutes.
You'd like to pick my brain? I'll send an invoice. Yes, please. It's okay, proceed. When you pick someone's brain, they usually say, I'll send you an invoice. You don't pick my brain for free, but proceed. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
you're gonna take the stuff right now and you don't know. You don't know issue with it in a few hours. So now, how do you are you ready to just pick a bit about manage rather than handling these are even work-life balance for now?
Yeah.
Until something that tickles your work kind of.
Okay. So if you don't get what you're looking for, how do you make it palatable where you're right now?
Not really.
Yeah.
But until you think certain, you don't want to make it palatable, per se, permanently or rather on the long term.
Yes,
But
yes.
it's for, it could be 3, could be 3 months, could be 6 months, but this time frame is a no.
Okay.
It's a non-entity, and you're gonna be able to put up with it up until something now.
Comes up. So how do you do it? Okay. How do you find balance right now until you find something that's interests you? So how about we look at, first of all, how about we look at deliverables? I'm sure not everything is urgent. We always say it's very urgent. Everything is really urgent. But let's have a timeline of what is urgent and what can wait. What is important and what is not important. Do you understand? This could be done with sitting down with whoever you get to report to, because I want to assume these are the people who get to dump things on your desk. Have a list of what is urgent as of now, so that those are the ones that you can work. Let's have a timeline. Have a plan. What are we working with? What gets to wait? I hope you get to work. I hope you're working with managers who get to understand that your capacity can only get to a certain point. Outside that, you can always say no to work. I don't know if this works in your organizations, but it actually works where I am. When people understand the kind of work that you have, and this could be, so I'm throwing just spitballing, yeah. When we understand the kind of work that you have at that time, I don't think any sane person will continue giving you work. But then, should they continue doing that, please make it clear to the people who get to be giving you work that these are the things that you're working at this time. In terms of finding work-life balance, make use of the time that you get to work in the office. So say from Monday to Friday, work on the deliverables for, if you get to work Monday to Friday, you can say, as opposed to working throughout the weekend, I can only work on Saturday until half day. I promise you, whatever work you're working on right now, it won't end. If you get to fall down right now and faint, I'll get a replacement as soon as tomorrow in the morning. I promise you. I'll take you to the hospital first. I'll have someone else. I'll have someone else treat you in the morning. You can always say no if it works. But first of all, have a conversation with the people that you get to report with. There's nothing, I don't think there's anything that cannot be had, cannot be discussed within the defines of communication. Give or take. But in the meantime, because what you're doing is you're saying yes or you're agreeing, you're being quiet with the work that you have, but then you're not going to deliver, and it's going to cause frustration, which is going to spiral all the way. Okay.
Some of these work is not given. Let's just say probably you are in field where when things come up and because maximum damage within a short period of time.
Okay.
And if you are not available, say you are to go the person and now she has hit the fan, sorry. So now the people that are available at that particular time to solve the issue.
Okay, let me do this. How about I attend to you, because there are a lot of hypotheticals that you're giving. Would it be okay if I have a conversation with you after this, so that we can just understand the specifics and see what we can get you? Any other question?
Oh, there's a question
Okay.
in the chat. Okay, so someone is asking, if you got 2 job offers at the same time with same salaries and more or less similar terms, what will be your determining factors on which one to pick? If you got 2 job offers at the same time with same salaries and more or less similar terms, what will be the determining factors of which one to pick?
Okay, I would look at career growth. would look at I would look at career growth. I don't know, like I've said, what's the definitions of success for you? So for someone else, it could be when I get to that organization, I get to move quickly up the ranks, or I can get to have work-life balance, whatever balance looks like for you. So you could have remote remote role. You can get to work anywhere. Really good perks, paid time off, vacation is paid for. You get to go to Thailand, etc. etc. What does success look like for you? Because I don't think they offer the same benefits. But then look at it like this: would you want to grow in ranks? Go to an organization that has maybe a wider scope. This is what I'm thinking about. If it's an international organization, there's a high chance that you're going to move to get to cater to regions if you're looking at moving up the ranks. If it's a remote position and that is what success looks like for you, that is what you would go for. Because if it's a remote role, you can easily jump from that remote role to another to another. So define what your success look like, what growth look like for you, and then you can get to choose. Any other question?
I think I have one towards the end. So, what is your take on work-life balance and work-life integration? So, I get not everyone can do work-life integration, and that is more or less for people who do freelance or some people who are self-employed. But for someone, let's say, working a corporate job, how can you, in your case, do work-life integration and not work-life balance?
Okay. It's not having, for me, it's not having work-life balance. It is finding one. So I get to do, I am employed, give or take, I am employed, but I also get to work with clients outside the work that's my 8 to 5. Work life, finding a balance for me means my Saturday is totally free. I can work with you on Sunday from afternoon. The other thing is, if I have to look at my emails past 8 p.m., then that is not it for me. So it's a lot on. Now I have a knack for talent acquisition. I'll take any job. Should you organizations be looking for recruiters, please. I'll take any job that is in talent acquisition. If it has anything to do with employee relations, it's a no for me because the integrities are very diverse. It's like what is describing. The hypotheticals are just they're never ending. The other thing for me would be I want to have finding balance for me would be I get to have a hybrid working arrangement. So that means I can be at a client's office. I'm attending to my 8 to 5, but then should anything come at the clients, I get to attend it at that time. So for me, it's finding the balance of being a consultant and an employee at the same time without compromising either. That's how I find balance for me. And for Saturdays or from 8 p.m., I get to do the things I like. I can go for walks. I enjoy being outdoors. Saturdays, I can get to be social.
So you have to understand yourself first.
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, there are things that are non-negotiable for everyone. Find out what's yours and start there. And over time you gravitate, you'll find your tribe. Be very intentional about what's time? Are you tired? I'm almost finishing. Be very intentional about it's very participatory. It needs you to be very active at it. At first it's so tiring because you don't know where you're starting from. But then over time, you can speak to a coach, career coach. We can always connect you to whatever you're looking for. You know people in the cycles that you're looking for. We can introduce you to people who can say, hey, this is where you can go from here. Over time, you can get people who can connect you to say opportunities that will allow you to be in that space. Do you understand? And I think one of the things that you're battling with, I can hear from afar the person that you're asking is, we'd want to have some life, some time to ourselves, not just every day doing work. But like I said at the first, whatever you're imagining in your mind, thinking that there's an employer somewhere who's looking for you, it is there. Don't confine yourself to saying, maybe I can just stay in this 85. It is there. If you're thinking of offering consultancy to employers in outside Africa. It is there so that it can give you freedom. So define what that looks like for you. Over time, you gravitate, look for communities that do what you want to do. Join them, go network and do something. Over time, you get to work towards that. I hope I've answered you.
Yeah, you know.
Any other question? Thank you very much.